to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again, I pray the Lord that I wake again.
Welcome to the Wisdom Clinic. Well, I'm tongue-tied today. To Wellness Tuesdays. I am Nadira Lewis, and I have host here with me, Sharmane Harrison, herbal naturopath, and we are here again yet for another Tuesday where we are going to be talking about natural health. So I'm excited and I can't wait for Sharmane to show us again the importance of maintaining our health naturally and how we can do it using practical principles and strategies that she has in her program, Heal by Nature. So welcome to Wellness Tuesday, Sharmane. Glad to have you back.
Absolutely. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, and I can't wait for you to get into it. So I'm going to let you roll with it. But before I go ahead and let you roll with it, I want to show you guys this clip real quick. And then when we get back, Sharmane's going to start teaching us on how to deal with natural health. And we are back again here with Sharmane Harrison. So, Sharmane, how are you?
I am well. That was a beautiful clip. I love that. I
Thank,
love that.
thank you.
I
Awesome.
am well. Yes,
So you look
definitely.
good.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm loving the whole white and
Yeah.
green. Tell us about that. What this new look is about.
Well, my thing is the white and the green, representing health, natural health at that. But I wanted to make the white more pronounced because it's like revitalization, purifying, cleansing, so definitely that's what that's about. Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank
So
you.
we're waiting for you. So why don't you tell
All
us the
right.
importance about natural health?
Yes, definitely. So, thank you for having me today. If you are here, it's because you are supposed to be here. Get your pen and paper. I am super excited. Today, I want to talk to you all about natural nutrition, right? So, if you tuned in with Wellness Tuesdays for the past few months, you know me as an herbal naturopath. I break down herbal and holistic health and wellness to where I really focus on the body from the inside out, not necessarily from the outside in, unless we're taking, social environmental factors into consideration, which is also absolutely important too. So for those of you tuning in for the first time, I kind of want to just briefly share like my journey as to why I'm very qualified to be able to help you to upgrade your health and wellness naturally, and just kind of drop some gems for you all today. But I'm Sharmane. I grew up in a military household. I'm a mother, I'm a military veteran, and I'm an herbalist, holistic health and wellness coach. And what I do is I help deliver people from a toxic lifestyle into natural health and wellness, working with herbs and things like that. But I'm a woman. I went from victim to super survivor when all the odds were stacked up against me. So since birth. My trauma started when I was born. I was born in the 80s. You know, they said that's the crack era. But when I was born, my mother, she did a lot of, things, we go through life and things like that. But by the time I was born, I had already grown to knowing what the feeling of the medication or drugs, per se, medication and drugs, legal or not, was able to do for my body. So I had an addiction at birth. So the older I got, I was given antibiotics at a very young when I was first born to help, release my body from the drugs that were in my body. But the older I got, I was very sick. The more ill I became, and the more antibiotics and medication I was given. So I found that by the age of 17, that I kind of enjoyed having that drowsy feeling. It was weird to me. I enjoyed having that numb feeling, that certain medications provided, like Tylenol PM. I would always just be like, ooh, the woozy feeling, as if everything around me didn't matter, because I grew up in a very traumatic environment. And that was my way of escaping the reality of all the things around me, going on around me. But through all that trauma I endured, I went from, when you're a child, you're sad and confused. I went to that, to being like an angry and just rebellious teenager. And then I really grew up to become a reckless adult, because that's what happens. When you're a child, you're going through things, you're just kind of sad. And you grow up to be a teenager, you're still trying to figure it out, and you just get angry. And then, you just kind of start picking up different habits. So at some point, I found myself homeless and eventually in jail a week prior to my 21st birthday. And I tried to convince the judge. I'm like, hey, he's like, why should I let you out? I'm like, I'm going to change my life around. I come with this story. I'm like, I'm going to join the military, the United States Army. I'm telling you, I'm going next week. So he's like, okay, well, if I see you back in here, you're staying. So that was like one of my defining moments in life. And thinking that that was my moment of change, entering the military, over the years of serving, I did find myself diagnosed with even more illnesses on top of the strenuous lifestyle that I had to deal with, and I found myself taking advantage again of the fact that I was able to get access to certain medications. Because now I'm like, oh, my mental health, and they want to prescribe antidepressants. I'm like, oh, this is going on. They want to prescribe this. I'm like, can't sleep. I have insomnia, and they prescribe all these, medications. And it took me back to my childhood. It took me back to that very numb, drowsy, and familiar, that familiar feeling that I needed, that I felt like I needed to be able to deal with life. So upon voluntarily separating from the military in 2017, that's when I found myself diagnosed with a condition which was said to be an autoimmune condition that left me with horrible symptoms, including the dark pigmentation. I had dark pigmentation cover over 90% like of my body, 90 to 95% of my body. I went to multiple doctors. All of them said, we don't know what's wrong with you. They tried to give me all these steroid creams. They were trying to give me all this stuff, and none of it worked. And so finally, I was referred to a dermatologist. And now all this is happening at 28 years old. This condition pops up at 28 years old. I wasn't born with it. It wasn't something that runs in my family. It just popped up on me. That's my mindset at the time. Like, it just came out of nowhere. And the dermatologist finally diagnosed me what was called lichen planus. And that's a condition that was said to be incurable and affects less than 2% of the world's population. So at this point, my hair is falling out, my skin is burning, it's bleeding, it's turning all different types of colors, pigmentation. I actually look like a cheetah, like my whole body looked like a cheetah except for my face. So after going through like all this trauma in my life, and the doctors are saying, we don't know, and I'm stressed, something triggered me when I went to the dermatologist that day. Um, and the dermatologist said, we don't have a cure. And but we have a steroid cream. Now at this time, like my body's inflamed. It's just like, is this going to be my new life? That's my mindset. I'm like, this is it? This is it. So when the doctors tell you we don't have a cure, that's like, it's a doctor. So you're just like, oh, well, that's it. I have to live with this condition forever. That was my mindset. And he was trying to give me a steroid cream that I had taken from my childhood. Like I was very familiarized by this time with a lot of medications. So I was like, I think I took that medication when I was like 7 or 8 years old, this steroid cream. But I reflected at that time on every emotion. I reflected on every emotion that I held on from childhood. I reflected on a lot of decisions that I made in my life. It's like my whole life flashed before my eyes. Every trauma that I projected onto others, and knew that there was, at that time, I knew that there was something inside of me that needed to come out. It was something inside of me that needed to come out. I knew it wasn't just a physical thing. I knew it was something that was emotional also, because I had a lot of things going on, in my life. We all have a story. But that day, I refused the medication. I refused it. And I left the dermatologist and I went to go do my own research for this condition. And there wasn't a lot of information out there because no one knew what it was, where it came from, none of these things. So you go kind of on YouTube, and I'm going on Facebook, and I'm like, what's going on? And it's not a lot of information, but I knew there was something inside of me that had to come out. I had already lived a life where I was dealing with trauma, and taking medication as a band-aid only seemed to kind of keep me, on a hamster wheel. So that was pretty frustrating. But after 28 years of constant medication, I decided like enough was enough. I was like, this is it. I'm sick. I'm sick of this lifestyle where I have to constantly depend on medication for my mental health, for my physical health, for, if I get a cold, if I got sinuses, like it was just always something. And it was very aggravating. So I said enough was enough. So I studied, I researched, and I applied just natural remedies. And I had to go on a journey. I often say wander through the wilderness, but I had to go on this journey, this awakening journey. And I learned to deliver myself from all those toxins that accumulated in my body and pushed through my skin, because that's all it was. It was me holding on to my childhood trauma. It was me just picking up bad habits, the smoking and the drinking and the fast food and all these things, and stressed out constantly. All of these things just accumulated in my body. So now I'm to the point where now I understand that quick fixes through medication, that's not the answer. That's not the answer. I understood that, my family deserved more than what I was presenting in that moment. So if you're a person, who has struggled with an illness, and you were told that there's no cure, but that voice inside of you is kind of like, no, it's something, you can do something to release that, the physical, the emotional and mental pain. You can do something. I do want you to know that you're absolutely correct. You are correct. Don't ignore that voice, because I've done it myself. I went through that process. So I do stand against those who believe that, dealing with chronic illnesses or anything can be fixed instantly through pharmaceutical medications, instead of focusing on that natural and holistic lifestyle change. I'm really a true believer, because I've done it myself. And that's why I became an herbalist, a holistic health and wellness coach, because I want to be able to help other people deliver themselves from a natural and from a toxic lifestyle into natural wellness. So that's a little bit of my backstory. And I wasn't the most healthiest person for a long time, but I've experienced a lot of illnesses in my time, in the few years, that I was going through all this stuff. So definitely, I just wanted to share a little bit of my backstory and how I overcame a condition that I was told that wasn't curable. It was incurable. 2%, less than 2% of the world's population diagnosed. So no one is going to tell me that I'm not, qualified. I've helped others do the same thing. So that's my biggest thing. The body can heal naturally. It really can. So that's why I'm here today, to get to the point where I'm just like, you don't have to deal with the medications. You don't have to deal with going through all these things. Our illnesses that we deal with has a lot to do with what we consume on a day-to-day basis. That's including food, that's including what we're listening to, that's including how we feel, the stress, our environment. All of these factors do play a role. And when it stores in your body, when it gets to a point where it's just in your body, in your womb, as women, we hold a lot of pain in our womb. When it's stored in your mind and you're constantly stressed out, that's what ends up happening. That's why there's so many autoimmune conditions that doctors are going around saying, we don't know what's wrong with you, because it's affecting different parts of our body. And then in 2021, it's like we continue to try and normalize it and throw it out there. We start blaming it on our age. Well, the doctor said this, well, the doctor said that. This is right because of an XYZ. And that's not necessarily the case. A lot of food that we believe to be healthy really just breaks down in our bodies differently. It really does. We often say, certain things are healthy, and when they really break down in our body, they're really not. So if you are suffering from what doctors consider normal, that's common symptoms of illness. 9 times out of 10, it's because you are already dealing with something that you don't have to deal with, and you have complete control over to reverse. So symptoms like heartburn, premenopause symptoms, menopausal symptoms, heat flashes, coughs, mucus in the body, those symptoms lead to illness over time when that stuff sits in our bodies over time. So if the symptoms are ignored over time, that's when it leads to illness. And if it keeps coming back over and over, it's because it's hard for the body to fight it off due to the continuous activity of what you're consuming. So it's not going to come out of your body because of what you're doing. Does that make sense with everything?
Yes, definitely. I think it all boils down to the same thing that you constantly reiterate over and over again: what we put in our body. If we don't pay attention to what we put on the inside of our body, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily, we're still going to suffer the effects of it. And though each of us may have different things that we have both voluntarily
I definitely know. I definitely get that, what you're saying about that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. A lot of the times we just don't know what to consume. That's what happens a lot of the times. We just really don't know what to eat, what to consume. So it does get to a point where it's just like, oh my goodness. So definitely, I definitely get that. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and my phone had dropped. So when we don't, you're right. When we don't pay attention to the things that we put in our body, then what happens is we suffer. We suffer
Mhm.
because of it. You know. So I'm gonna fix
Right.
my camera while you talk.
Absolutely. So yeah, and it goes back to, like I said, a lot of times we get to a point where we just don't know what to eat. And that's one of the biggest concerns about a lot of people. They feel like, oh my gosh, well, what do I eat? What do I eat? And we attach the word healthy to everything negative, not realizing a lot of that stuff is just our perspective. So I hear people say things like, oh well, eating salads, equal to them, like, oh my gosh, I gotta eat a salad, I gotta, I'm not gonna be full enough, things like that. Well, eating salad, to me, I love salads. Salads are delicious. It provides my body with natural, chlorophyll, for which is needed for the body. A lot of people say, I'm not gonna be full enough. I've consumed, and I know plenty of people that consume a lot of fruits and vegetables and things like that, a lot of food that's filled with a lot of water, and it provides the body with the minerals, the vitamins, the nutrients, and hydrates that will actually keep you full. So actually, once you get to a certain space in your health, being full isn't a great feeling. It's not the goal. You don't want to feel full because I know it's like, what do you mean I don't want to feel full? That means that you've crammed so much into your body, trying to break down into your intestines, and you've overeaten. So that's not the best feeling that you want to have, because what's the point of overeating? Because you feel like it's going to keep you full longer. But in reality, all you have done is made your body work even harder into trying to digest. It's trying its best to digest. So now you have stomach pains, you have chest pains, you have diarrhea, you're burping every 2 seconds, talking about, oh, that's normal. It happens, that happens every time, but you got to start listening to your body. You have to listen. Food sensitivity is not normal. That's not normal. It's a digestive problem that you're dealing with. Skin breakouts, you have to understand that that's your body's way of telling you, something internally is happening, something internally is going on. Body pain, inflammation, again, all that's internal. So you have to understand that these things, they are internal. Healthy doesn't mean that you have to starve yourself. I tell people that all the time. You don't have to. It's a negative, connotation on it. It's like, oh my God, if I eat healthy, that means I'm just eating salads and twigs and berries and all this stuff. And I'm just like, no, it's really not. It's really not. You don't have to starve yourself. There's different things that you can consume. And that's why I speak about the practice of fasting. That's so important, because fasting is something that we, alleviate, that we want to incorporate so we don't overeat. Like, I've been practicing fasting for the past few years, so I'm very well at it. I can go someplace and be okay. Like, they say, oh, when you're traveling, you gotta be careful when you're traveling and you're trying to be healthy and things like that. But when you start to practice fasting, you're okay with not eating. You're not getting the headaches. You're not feeling sluggish. You're not feeling tired. You're not hangry. You're not going to, when you start practicing fasting, you're just like, you're okay. You're like, okay, I'm cool until I consume.
It's like a form of discipline. It's like almost like fasting creates a discipline, because when you think about what dis-ease is your body being not at ease because you've lacked in discipline in a particular area of eating. So that's really encouraging to know that you can get to a place to where you can exercise. Most people don't understand that about fasting, is that fasting, it promotes discipline. And that discipline goes across the board in all areas of your life. So it makes sense to hear you say, and I've never heard it like that before, or even heard a lot of people talk about it, but it makes a lot of sense to that when you start learning how to fast, you create discipline. So if you have to be in an area where you're not able to eat something, where your body's not fighting against you, because you've already trained it to discipline and to eat certain things. So that's pretty good. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to be back with Sharmane Harrison, and we're going to continue our conversation on natural nutrition. You guys, if you have any questions or concern, make sure you put it in the comments, and Sharmane and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. And if you are watching us on the replay, make sure you hit #replay, and we'll be back with Sharmane and more on natural nutrition after this.
Yes, come on, shorty, let's go. Girl, I see you over there in the corner of the dance floor, and I know you're acting shy, looking at the corner of your eye. So I pick my heart up off the floor, move my feet closer to yours, catch my breath, and I say, I'm the one you're looking.
IBG Careers is looking for customer service representatives needed to service their customers from home. If you're interested, please apply at www.ibgcareers.com.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time.
Running a successful business does not have to be hard. It just takes the right tools, mindset, and implementation of the things that you've learned in order to be able to communicate it effectively to the marketplace. Join me and so many others in the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs Wisdom Academy as I share with you through different classes that I host every week on on what things you need to know in order to make your business thrive in the marketplace. So make sure you click the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.
All right, and we are back in the Wellness Clinic with Sharmane Harrison, Natural Herbal Path, and we've been talking today about an amazing topic about the importance of, it's funny because I've said the title over and over again, didn't realize that I was saying it wrong the whole time, but we're talking about natural nutrition. So Sharmane was educating us, and before we went into the break, we talked about fasting and how it actually how fasting creates discipline in our lives. So no matter where we go, that we can start implementing certain disciplines in our lives so that we can be able to take more control over what we put in our body, both voluntarily and involuntarily. So Sharmane?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Like I said, the practice of fasting, like, is so important. I did a whole, we spoke about that in a whole broadcast before about fasting. I broke all of it down in different types of fast, how long you should fast, what types of fast. So that is super important when it comes to just naturally nourishing your body, because it helps you not want those 3 meals a day. Some people, I gotta have 3 meals a day. I'm busy, I'm this, I'm that. But when you start practicing fasting, is regardless of how you look at it, like what you're doing, then you're good to go, honestly. Because people are like, oh, well, when you fast, you need to lay down, you don't need to do this, do that. But I know I'm getting to a space myself where I can fast and go to the gym. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to get dizzy and pass out because I've been doing it for so long. I have the energy. I work with, certain herbs. I utilize certain herbs and things like that. That's going to keep my body nourished. So that's a really powerful tool. So if you have not watched that video, then definitely go on the page and check out the Facebook group and go check out that video, because that's really powerful. It's a really powerful practice, fasting. But yes, again, it helps you not want 3 meals a day. It just helps you, give you discipline, and it helps give your body a break, the break that our bodies need, because it's constantly working. It's constantly working. We're constantly putting something in our mouth, some snacks and dinner and lunch and breakfast and things like that. So our body is constantly working. It helps you not want to feel like, oh, well, I got to put something in my stomach. You hear people say, oh, well, they consume things like, okay, well, I got to put something in my stomach before I go to work. I got to do this before I do this. But if we simply just listen to our bodies, then things would be a lot better for us, our health overall. Because I know sometimes we're not hungry. Sometimes people feel like if they're not hungry, something's wrong. Like, I've heard people say that, well, I don't have an appetite, so that's a good thing. That's fine if you don't have an appetite. That means your body doesn't want anything. So the last thing you want to do is force something in your mouth when you have to sit up here and you're not hungry. That's okay, because it's unnecessary for the body when you do things like that. But if we just listen to our bodies, if we just get to a point, what to consume, because a lot of times you just don't know what to consume. Instead of what you've been consuming, you want to make sure that you start making healthier options. A lot of people look at healthy, and again, they're just like, nasty, bland, all these things, but that's really not. You're just not understanding what certain things can do for your body. And I'm to the point where before I put anything into my mouth, I ask myself, what's the purpose of this food? How is this going to serve my body? I constantly do that. It's not like an obsession type thing, but it's just like,
that's definitely a mindset thing, because I don't think most of us ask ourselves, is this best for our body? We just say how fast we can eat it.
Exactly. Right. Yep. And I had to get to this point. Yeah. A lot of times we're just, like you said, we're just like, oh, this is going to taste good. Yum. Let's do it. But then we later on, it's just like, oh, my stomach, oh, my back, oh, I got this mucus in my chest, things like that. So I am very aware. And I teach that in my program, how to become so aware, over time with practice. So you can get to the point where you're okay with doing that too. You're getting to the point where you become that self-discipline. So that is super important. But I ask myself, like, is this hydrating me? If I'm going to drink this, is it going to hydrate me, or will it dehydrate me? Is this fatty, or will it clog my heart, or will it supply my heart with the oxygen that it needs to keep beating? Before I consume something, I'm going to be like, is this going to help, flow through my colon, or will it back up in my colon, causing constipation? So too many times we kind of focus on what we can't have when it comes to health, and not enough on what we can have. So it shifts our views. You want to kind of, your view on things, you want to kind of have it shift. Then we go around with this mindset, like I've spoken to people who in the beginning, they're just like, everything is processed, everything has gluten, everything has refined sugar, nothing is natural, and it's like, you can't go in with that mindset, because that's not true. And then you have the thought process, and that thought process spirals to kind of, well, I might as well eat what I want, because everything is this, and I'm not going to find this, and I don't eat it like that. Or they kind of, come to the point where they're just like, oh, well, they're trying to convince themselves that it's okay to have. And you don't want to get to the point where you're trying to convince yourself to consume unhealthy things or have unhealthy habits. It's okay to consume this once every blue moon. Well, I don't eat it like that, so it's okay. You don't want to get to that point, because a little bit goes a long way. You go from telling yourself that once every blue moon to every other day. So you kind of just want to like watch when you do that. Have you ever told yourself, well, I'm not going to give up this, I'm not going to give up that. I speak to people, they're like, well, I'm not giving up coffee. Well, I'm not giving up this. I'm not giving up bacon. I'm not giving up cheese. And I know for me, like, I'm from the coast of South Carolina. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina originally. We eat rice, we eat a lot of spices, and we eat a lot of seafood with everything. Breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner. Everything growing up, yes, rice with eggs, rice with sausage, seafood, shrimp and grits, fish and grits. Like, that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
So it was for me, it's a part of it was a part of my culture. Seafood was hard for me to give up for the longest, to let go of. And I remember at some point saying, I'm not giving up my crabs and shrimp.
You don't eat any seafood? Oh yeah, because you're okay, got you. Wow.
Right. Yeah, because seafood contains high levels of mercury and iodine also, and then that affects the lungs and the kidneys and the brain and the immune system and things like that. So with like seafood, you still want to be careful, because I know people that say, oh, well, I eat chicken and fish, so I'm good. But it's just like, when you're constantly consuming that, because and that's another thing I'm going to go through on this Friday with my event. I'm going to go through all these things, because like, I'm going to break all that down, how it starts to affect the body when we're constantly consuming these things. We're constantly going, consuming, thinking, oh, well, it's healthy, it's this, it's that, that's all I eat. But then if that's all you eat, what are you really providing your body with, if that's the majority of what you're eating? So I know, again, it's like, I knew somebody who I grew up with that breaks out every time they eat seafood, but
wow,
they take Benadryl and they'll still eat it. They'll be like, I love my seafood. I'm eating my seafood. Or they'll take Benadryl. Why is that? Because of that relationship they have with food.
Wow.
That relationship, that self-discipline, that those things that we just kind of grow up on, and we're not really paying attention because it's second nature to us. It's a part of the culture. It's a part of things like that. So it's really powerful when you start to really become self-aware of what's going on in our body. Definitely. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, now, I promise you that if a doctor comes along and tells you, hey, if you eat another crab leg, then you're going to develop cancer, then your perspective is going to change real quick in 2.5 seconds. It would be a lot different. You would stop cold turkey, probably even become an advocate. Don't y'all eat that seafood because the doctor said. That's how powerful, like, the mind, and you can say it's just a shift of a mindset, and who's telling you what. Who's telling you what? So it's very powerful. It's very powerful. Now, another issue that people have is once they have to put down something when they're kind of confused and they go, well, what can I eat? What can I have? In all reality, the answer would be different to everyone, considering how much damage you've already caused to your body as far as when you're consuming. Because remember, I went down and I spoke about how the food breaks down in your body. Everyone's going to be different. The food that you eat will break down in your body differently depending on how much damage you've already caused to your body. That's why you see people go through, you can take two people and they both can go through the same dieting process or the same cleanse or something like that. But their body, the way their body responds is going to be absolutely different. Then you can have one person that said, well, I tried that, it didn't work for me. But 9 times out of 10, the reasoning being is because waste needs to be pushed out of your body so it can do like a complete reset. And that's what I teach in my online Heal by Nature program, how to do that complete reset. And I know, we're going into the holidays, and for those of you that are just kind of like, I don't want to spend my time, getting to the point where I've worked so hard, because you have people, they work so hard throughout the year and, on their health and wellness and just trying to get to a better space. Then the holidays come and they're with family and they're soaking in the culture, but they want to learn how to choose healthier, delicious options. This is why I have put together my natural nutrition upcoming free event on Friday. I have an event coming up on Friday, and it's a natural nutrition masterclass. And in that class, what you'll be learning is basically you'll be learning what foods to eat in order to optimize your health and wellness journey. You will actually in the class build your own customized meal plans. So that's going to be super fun. That's what we're going to do. We're also going to learn what herbs and spices from your backyard and or kitchen that you can use for everyday health maintenance. That's what I do all the time. I just use simply what's around me nonstop to actually optimize my health and wellness. And also, if any of you have ever been to my events, I always do a giveaway at the end. I always do some type of giveaway or something like that at the end. But this event will actually be held on Friday, November 5th at 9 a.m. It's Friday, November 5th at 9 a.m. So if anyone definitely wants to come out, they want to register, you are definitely able to. If you're looking to upgrade your overall health and wellness, through nutrition, definitely make sure that you are at that event. If you're one of those individuals, you just don't know where to begin. You're just kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to begin with my nutrition. I want to be healthy. It's the holidays, but I don't want my family to, shun me out because, I'm not eating as much as I used to and things like that. Because the pressure can get on, be on around the holidays when you're going to visit family, but you work so hard throughout the year to just kind of balance out your health. But the event is going to be super powerful. If you are suffering or dealing with prediabetes, diabetes, overweight, suffering from skin conditions, you want to lose weight or just lose weight, gain weight, or you're just looking for more healthier options for the holidays, make sure that you definitely show up to this event. It's going to be powerful. You can register right here. Nadira just dropped the link. So you can definitely make sure that you go to that link and register. You can reach out to me also to book a call. You can book a discovery call with me. If you are just looking for different ways to upgrade your health and wellness, you don't know where to start. You believe in the natural route, you know it's possible, but you just don't know where to begin. Definitely book a call with me so that I can be able to kind of hear where you're at right now with your health and just kind of guide you on, making the best solution or where you want to go. You can also go to my website at www.healbynature.org And you can check out the website. I have plenty of testimonials there. Testimonials. I've been doing this a while, been helping people achieve their goals within their health and wellness, definitely. So on, again, Friday, November 5th, 9 a.m., register for that natural nutrition event. Is going to be powerful. It's going to be amazing. We're just going to go into the holiday strong. You do not want to end the year at all with just you don't want to end the year beginning January with the new year, new me. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then you kind of fall off come February or March. We don't want to do that. If you come into to the event and you speak with me, you book a call and you actually come into the program, then you'll be able to achieve results around the 90-day mark. So if you actually start in November, that's December, November, December, January. By January, you will be able to see change. You'll be able to see a huge difference in your health and wellness already. So you don't have to be one of those people, January, like new year, new me. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna wait till after the holidays. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. You don't want to keep waiting, because that's the problem. A lot of us just wait. And then by January, February, March, we're on this hamster wheel where we're just like, oh, well, I'm going to do it next year. Well, I'm going to do it after the holidays. Well, after the holidays, well, I'm going to do it for springtime. Well, I'm going to get summertime fine. Well, I'm a bikini body and all these things, you guys. So you don't want to wait. You want to make sure you take the opportunity. Again, this event is completely free. This event is definitely completely free. You got to ask yourself, who do I need to do this for? Who do I need to start this for? Who needs you to be the healthiest version of you? Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop spending money, hundreds and thousands of dollars on medications that's not working, hoping that pharmaceuticals is the answer for illnesses that you have complete control over in your life. I've been there. I've done it. I've got the experience, the knowledge, and the testimonies. Stop watching yourself suffer from illnesses that can be prevented if you just knew how to turn your diet mindset into an actual lifestyle.
Absolutely. You've heard it from the herbal naturopath herself. Not only is Sharmane instrumental in teaching us, she actually practices. And so she has authority in the area that she's talking about because she's walking it out in her own life. And that's important because you have a lot of people that may sell health products and that may be inspired by health products, but they don't actually implement them in their life. So you're getting advice from somebody who was sick 8 to 9 months out of the year and has had a lifelong battle with different types of illnesses. So if it's anybody you want to listen to, you want to listen to Sharmane. She has studied, she has done her due diligence in this area when it comes to health. So make sure you guys make sure you sign up. Go to the link that you see here at the bottom of the screen and make sure you sign up for this event this week. And it's going to be powerful. It's going to be impactful because we can't fulfill any of the things that we want to do if we're not feeling good, if we're not looking good. You know, you can look good all day long, but if you don't feel good, you see people that are spending more money on their health nowadays. And I'm sure you can vouch for that. People are spending an enormous amount of money taking care of themselves now than they've done before. Before it was like everybody was spending it on things. Now people are getting the things and they're realizing my health is the most important, valuable thing that I have. So make sure you go down here to this link and fill out and set it up to be able to come. Sharmane and I are I wanted to also introduce, if I haven't said it on any of the other broadcasts, but every week here in the Wisdom Clinic, we try to provide information that's going to benefit each and every one of you that are watching. And I'm sure that a lot of you have benefited from the information that Sharmane and I have both brought here in the Wisdom Clinic. So would you consider subscribing with us? We are now offering a monthly subscription of just only $7 a month. And that will actually help support us in continuously providing more information to be able to help you. So If you're interested in subscribing, for those of you that are already members of the Wisdom Clinic, make sure you put in the comments, just say I'm interested, and I'll go ahead and send you a link so that you can subscribe and become a partner, is what I would say, a partner in helping us to be able to share this information with you on a continual basis. Would you consider that? $7. I think $7 a month is worth the information that we have been providing to you in the clinic. So if you're interested, just put in the comments, I'm interested, and I'll send you the link so that you can go ahead and set up on a monthly subscription. The information that Sharmane give us is way more than $7 a month. Just in that alone, her services are worth more than that. So just to be able to provide a fraction of that so that we can continue to bring you health and wellness on a continual basis would just be awesome. It will be a blessing, and it'll give us an opportunity to do many things to help many more people. So again, if you're interested, just put in the comments, I'm interested, and I'll go ahead and send you over the link. Sharmane, did you have any final words before we actually end our broadcast?
Absolutely. If you are tired of suffering, and I know it's flu season, it's COVID season, it's winter, it's snow, it's all types of stuff going. It's pollen, it's springtime and wintertime. Like, it's a lot going on right now. So if you just want to get to a place where you're just tired of suffering, and are you ready to release your body of illness or just waste? It's not so much weight, it's waste. Then make sure that you're at this event on Friday, because it's going to be super powerful. We're going to be there for about 3 hours of information. And so it's definitely going to be worth the time and worth, every moment. That's the only investment, is your time. And you're going to be able to accomplish a lot during that time. So, when 1 January comes, you're not the one sitting there, new year, new me. You're actually putting in the work to make sure that you get the results that you desire before the end of the year is out. Go hard for 90 days. I promise you that it'll be well worth it.
Absolutely. I agree. Thank you guys so much for joining us again on another Tuesday here in the Wisdom Clinic for Wellness Tuesday. And we'll be back again on next Tuesday with our herbal naturopath, Sharmane Harrison. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to join us on Friday for Sisterhood Check-In, as we have our special guest. We have an amazing guest that's going to be there. And I can't wait for you guys to meet her. And I cannot wait to learn about all the wonderful things that God has done in her life. So make sure you join us back here in the Wisdom Clinic, or on the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs page, or on the Nadira Lewis personal page for Sisterhood Check-In at 10 p.m. on Friday. Thanks, guys, for watching. Have a wonderful day.